Hey, another beautiful, amazing day to all people of the way. A happy new year to you all, and welcome to the very first edition of Truth Talk Tuesdays for the year 2022.
Yes, and for this week, we decided that we will speak about the importance and the power of gratitude. So, being the first week of January, we felt that this would be the most perfect topic to speak about, especially seeing as gratitude was something that kept coming up all throughout December. It really did. And yeah, we just thought that starting the year right by speaking about gratitude and how you can implement it in your own life and how it can really help in everything that you do, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we originally were going to talk about gratitude during the last week of December. Yeah, the Christmas episode, right? But hey, it worked out perfectly, because what a better way to start off the new year than to talk about gratitude and the things we can be grateful for. And yeah, like you said, how gratitude is very powerful for helping us live with balance,
Mm-hmm.
And before we continue, we got to acknowledge the very first thing we can be grateful for is having broken the 1,000 member mark in our group.
Absolutely.
All of the beautiful community members that are now a part of our group. We're so grateful to every last one of you, because you bring so much life to our community through the things that you guys, those that are active in the group sharing things, have brought to our community. You all bring so much life, so much inspiration with your own unique insights and wisdom and perspectives. And we're really, really grateful to all of you for that. Please continue please continue to do so. We encourage everyone else that tunes in, to share your perspectives, to give us feedback on the content that we create, just as we give feedback on the things that you share in our group. This group, again, is to inspire you guys, as well as find inspiration for ourselves in the things that you share with us, so that we may live even more fully in our pursuit of truth, beauty, and love. So we just want to acknowledge that we're very grateful to all of our community members. And with that being said, with regards to gratitude, we can say that gratitude is like the Great Equalizer. Gratitude, no matter what we're going through in life, no matter what it is that we are experiencing, no matter what circumstances, situations we may face, or challenges we may face in life, we find balance through the way that gratitude fuels our joy for life. We may not always be happy. Happiness comes and goes, right? It's not always rainbows and sunshine. But when we live with gratitude and we remember the things that we are grateful for, the connections that we have that we're grateful for, the friends, the family that are connected to us, our soul family especially, when we remember what it is that we live for, and we're grateful for that, we're able to always live with a steady balance of joy and love for life. And Samantha, if you could give us an example or two of how you've been able to live more gratefully, how you've incorporated even more gratitude into your life. Maybe some of the earliest examples even.
Yeah. Well, also I wanted to mention that gratitude also brings us more fulfillment.
Absolutely.
It really does. And me, when I first discovered gratitude, because it wasn't something that was always a part of my life, it was quite a few years back, I had seen The Secret, and it was through The Secret that absolutely right it was through The Secret that I then became aware of gratitude. And that was back when I was pregnant to my youngest, so that was 6 years ago. And it was a part of, I guess it was in my subconscious, right? I had kind of tucked it away and let it be, because having a baby and progressing with life in that point of time, it wasn't really something that was in the forefront of my mind. So take me back now to a couple of years ago, when I really started working on myself, right? I started going in this personal development journey and wanted to find my spirituality. I then came to realize that gratitude is such a huge part of that, because gratitude is part of the law of attraction. And to be able to attract more into your life, you must be grateful for what you already have, because that is the vibration that you are giving out to the universe, right? This is what you are giving off. Now the universe doesn't know whether or not, you are vibrating for something good or something bad, but it feels this vibration, and it's going to bring back to you what it is that you are giving off. So if you are giving this feeling of gratitude, then naturally you will have more things to be grateful for. And for me, that was probably the biggest point, because I wanted to change things in my life. And so, I was like, okay, so what do? We got to be grateful. And I remember that initially it felt like a task. It was something that I had to remind myself of. It was something that I had to get my book out and I had to write down all the things, 10 things per day, things that I am grateful for, and I just remember it being hard sometimes, even, to find things to be grateful for. And I think back and I think, wow, that's crazy, but that was the truth of the fact at that point in time, that I did struggle to think of things that I was grateful for. But through practice and through, doing that daily, even the little things, I then found to be grateful for, and as time passed by, and you would find this throughout your own personal journey, that, and it's not only with practicing gratitude, it's with a lot of practices, but we're speaking about gratitude right now. You will find that there are certain things that you need to do daily. You have to remind yourself, you have to persist, but eventually it will become integrated with who you are, and it just becomes a part of you. So I know for myself now, and I know, Alexander, it's the same for you too, that we don't need to practice per se gratitude. We don't need to get a book and a paper and write the things that we are grateful for, because we live with gratitude integrated as a part of who we are. And that just means that we are grateful for absolutely everything in our life, for the good, for the struggles, for everything. For investment that we may have lost, we are still grateful for that, because I'm still learning, it's you just must. And
the investments we've made, the lessons we've learned,
exactly,
the hardships, the challenges, seen through the context of gratitude, is so powerful and really inspires us and fuels us to continue moving forward with even more joy, again, with even more love for life. And it's really like a muscle, isn't it? Gratitude is like a muscle that you exercise, and any spiritual practice or quality that you want to have more of, it's like a muscle. You engage in the practice, but the purpose of the practice is to practice it so that you become it, so that it becomes who you are. There's no need to have a ritualized form of meditation or a ritualized form of gratitude when you live in a meditative state, when you are living with gratitude, when it is a part of who you are, right? At the beginning, you may need those practices, because that's a muscle that from the jump is weakened because of the world we live in. We're taught to think negatively. We're taught to live with a scarcity mindset as opposed to an abundance mindset and prosperous mindset, a positive outlook, right? That's a muscle that we have to consciously practice and strengthen. I remember one of the things that I did back in like the earliest parts of my spiritual journey. I was working as a receptionist for a law firm, right? And then office manager, right? But before I got to that position of office manager as a receptionist, one of the things that I did, this is something that I thought of doing to incorporate more gratitude into my life, because it was a very stressful job. You know, my boss at the time was my stepdad, and you think you've had a hard ass boss? You haven't had my stepdad as a boss. You know, and he was the one that ran like the consulting aspect of the law firm, and as the manager, he gave me certain tasks to do, and life at home carried into the workplace, and stress from the workplace carried over home. So it's very stressful, very, very stressful, you know? So I was like, God, yeah, like, God, how can I be more joyful considering my circumstances, so that I can greet the customers that come, you know, to the office, you know, with a smile, with genuine joy, right? I literally had a notebook where I wrote down the people that annoy the shit out of me the most. I had a name, and with the name came a section where I would list off things that I was grateful to them for, things that I liked or found pleasant about the most unpleasant people.
Yeah.
And if I could find nothing redeeming about these people, right? There was an especially negative person, you know, who unfortunately he passed away a few years ago. He was the attorney. He was one of the main attorneys in that office. And he was so negative, so pessimistic, so unpleasant to be around, right? And, you know, on a rare occasion, he would be nice or whatever. And so I acknowledged that. You know, I would write that down. You know, attorney so-and-so, you know, would have his moments, you know, where he's kind. You know, I'm grateful for that. You know, what else? You know, he would make the coffee in the morning. You know, I would write that down. I would literally have my mind focus on the good things about the most unpleasant people in my life. You know, my stepdad, you know, what am I grateful for? Oh, well, you know, he helps keep the home together. You know, he helps pay the bills, etc. You know, he fulfills his duty, you know, as husband to my mother, right? In keeping the home together as best he can. I'm grateful for that. And just in this notebook, you know, I would fill the page, right, of things, with as many things as I could think of. And then the next page, you know, just, you know, more things. You know, could I think of anything else? How much juice can I extract? You know, how much more grateful can I be for even the most unpleasant of circumstances? You know, this job, it's so stressful, but what can I be grateful for? You know, I have a job. Period. I have a job, you know, that pays me. You know, I'm not on the other side of the world in Africa digging a hole for 5 cents a day. You know, I get to wear nice clothes that I like. I have the freedom to wear the clothes that I like. I don't have a uniform. You know, just little stuff like that. It's all about orienting your mind consciously at the start. These practices are necessary. You need to do these things. You know, how or which way you can orient your mind to look at what's positive.
And I find it beautiful that you have an experience like that with practicing gratitude, because I remember that there's a book called The Power, which is by The Secret also, and I began doing this book. I think it's like a 21-day thing, and one of the tasks were to have a picture of the people that are in your life, right, or the people that you want to have a better connection with, and every day it wanted you to list off the reasons why you were grateful for that person, you know, and eventually over time you will see how giving off that energy and that vibration towards that person will start actually changing that relationship between you and that person that you are, you know, being grateful for. So it really has such a positive, beautiful impact on all areas of your life.
And the apex, the crowning achievement of gratitude is realizing that everything serves you. This is the highest teaching and mastery of gratitude, is realizing that everything absolutely everything serves you.
It does.
Even if you think something doesn't serve you, the opportunity to realize that you are exercising gratitude because you hate that thing so much is making your ability to be grateful even stronger. That's how strong your spirit becomes. That's how grateful for life you become. You know, every little thing serves you.
And that does not serve you, right? Because there are certain things that when you are growing and evolving within yourself, there will be certain things and certain people that no longer serve you. By having gratitude, though, you take what it was that did serve you from that connection, from that relationship, from that situation, and you are still grateful for having that and having gratitude to be able to let go of what doesn't serve you.
And be aware.
And having the awareness.
Being grateful for the awareness, cultivating the awareness you needed to realize that that was not good for you. Everything. There's not a single moment where if you just take a step back, you can realize that there's plenty for you to be grateful for, even in the hardest of circumstances. Again, it's a muscle. It's something you consciously have to do. At first, you're going to fight it. But nah, this shit sucks. You know, there's nothing positive at all about this situation or these circumstances. And then you realize, wait a minute, I'm grateful for the opportunity to practice gratitude even more. There's always something that you can be grateful for. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. You know, so those are just a couple. Yeah, go ahead, baby girl.
No, I was just going to say, do you think there are any kind of resources or videos? I mean, I would say The Secret is a great video to watch if you haven't seen it before. You don't have to take everything from it, but it does really have some beautiful points, especially when it comes to gratitude and things like a vision board. Again, a vision board is something when you need to remind yourself, something when you are practicing what it is that you are wanting to manifest. Again, I feel that once it is all integrated within yourself, it's all here and it's all here. You know, you don't need to have those physical things around anymore because it does become integrated with a part of your being and your spirit. But are there any other books? Again, The Power, that was a good one. Is there anything else that you can recommend or think of that people could look into?
Absolutely.
Further,
you know, there are things that we need to serve as grounding tuning forks, so to speak. Meditation is one of those things. Sitting still and just focusing on your breath is one thing that is so simple to do that allows us to remember what is most important, right? That's one thing that we can do. People who live with gratitude as well, staying connected with those people, having conversations with those people when we're down, right? So that they can freshen your perspective, rejuvenate you, and refresh your energy, refresh your spirit. That's very important. And if you don't have anyone that you can relate to when it comes to your journey, when it comes to mastering your spirituality and your pursuit of truth, beauty, and love, there are always authors that will resonate with you, that felt as you did. One of them is Ralph Waldo Emerson, who wrote a lot on the beauty of nature and its relation to the human spirit. And when you read his work, you're just so grateful for how we can orient ourselves with the natural world, how we can align ourselves with what is true for us, among many other things. You just realize there is so much for you to be grateful for. Mark Twain's books, you know, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, you know, books like that just show you how much magic there is in life. You know, even books like Harry Potter, you know, just stuff like that just reminds you how amazing life is despite all of our challenges, you know. So those are just a few resources. Like for me, I'm grateful that I had books that I could read, that I could connect with these authors And at one point in time in my spiritual journey, that part in your journey where you feel completely alone and you feel no one can relate to you, that phase that's necessary in our growth as spiritual individuals, my best friends were those authors. My best friends were those writers. I had no one that I could really relate to. I was around people, but alone. And I had to become comfortable with that. We all must become comfortable with that if we're going to live our truth with courage and with fullness, without holding back. We have to have that courage to be alone, because then we'll find other people that are just as okay with being alone. We won't be lonely, and we can be grateful for that as well, for being able to connect with people like that. But until that time comes, one of the things that we can do is read from people who wrote about the things that make life so fulfilling. And when we find gratitude in that, we add even more fulfillment to our life. Life becomes much more enjoyable, even in the hardest of circumstances, So yeah, gratitude is the great equalizer. It is the most powerful context through which we can live our life. It is exactly what will help you to see that everything serves you. Absolutely everything does in life. Everything serves you. And when you live that, not just an understanding in mind, but it is a deep knowing in your being that everything serves you. Doesn't that make you unstoppable?
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't that make you limitless?
Yeah.
Powerful beyond measure? If nothing can deter you, if everything serves you, doesn't that make you limitless? Powerful beyond measure, in overabundance? And that's really the space where we want to live from then, isn't it? That's how we're going to quickly manifest what it is that we want in life. Exponentially so. As we continue building up that muscle, nothing will be able to deter you or slow you down. And that's the place that we want to get to. And we do that by living with gratitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Such
beautiful. You feel so much content as well. When you love gratitude. I couldn't think of.
And peace.
Without it now, yeah, peace. Absolutely, peace, joy. And all those beautiful feelings.
Yeah. They stem from gratitude. And that's why gratitude is so important. So yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to talk with y'all a bit about today, ladies and gentlemen. When we live with gratitude, we are tapping into a source of joy that is limitless and endless. And that's the context through which we want to live our life and perceive every circumstance is through the context of gratitude. And yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Truth Talk Tuesdays.
Yes, and remember that you are the author of your story. You are the painter of you are the artist of your painting, and may you be inspired to create a masterpiece of a life tailored by your desires.
With that, we leave you in truth, beauty, and love. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.